DBS community, welcome back to another deck profile video here with Kyle Chris. Today I'm going to be going over a new variation of Garlic Jr. This is, if you guys have been watching my videos, I absolutely love this leader. I really want this leader to find some form of top in qualifiers or in the actual main circuit. The leader itself is not great. The engine itself draws you a ton of cards, but in some matchups this leader just gets demolished. I'm hoping that this variation of the deck actually performs a little bit better. I'll kind of explain as I go. So make sure you guys like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of this deck video. You guys can check out the deck listing down below as well. Let's get started. Outside of the normal attacking, this leader can draw a card by using its Overlord skill, where you can bottom deck a Servant card, which is a big portion of what this deck wants to do. The Awaken effect, you can awaken at 4, or if you have a 3-cost Unison in play, and you can restand 1, draw 1. On this side, you also have the Overlord skill as well, but then when your opponent attacks, you can free play a 2 or less Demon Clan from your hand and then negate the skill for the turn. And also the card is played in rest mode, so you cannot combo with it. So they tried to do a lot of things to make this leader balanced, because there's a lot of little small things that if they did not change or alter, this leader could have been much more crazy than it actually could have been insanely good. But it's a pretty average leader, but we tried to make the engine as volatile as possible, so we're getting the best outcome, the best draws, and the best chance to dominate most games. So this here is the standard package of what you run in most Garlic decks. So we have only a member of the Elite Four that we should run in the deck, and then 2 of the Machio Stars that this card can search out. So technically we run a total of 5 searches for Machio Star. This is arguably your best turn 1 play. In most matchups, this may be a turn 2 play. But this card here, you can pitch it from your hand to search one of these from your deck, and then you can play this card, search top 5 for a Demon Clan, and then at the end of your turn, every turn, you can auto free play a 2-drop or less Demon Clan. Now this is pretty important. It comes important later on in the game, and we'll explain why once we get there. But the idea is you want to search these out, get these out of your deck as quick as possible, so you can have other cards in your deck. It also just thins your deck out then, which is filtering is a big thing in any deck, and this deck can do a lot of filtering. So generally when you play this, you want to search out for one of these. Tip, if you play this deck, you want to search and see if both of these are in your deck. If they are both in your deck and you grab another one of these eventually, you can pitch this to draw this, to then play this card out and then search for top 5. Or you can grab it so you can charge it on another turn, so you can just get it out of the way, so you don't have to see this card when you're trying to super combo, when you're trying to go for game and ramp up and swing with your leader and stuff like that. So you want to get these cards out of your deck as quick as possible. Once you have one on the field, you're never going to need to play another one. You can, like I said, to draw again off of it. And then this card, you also can play this card if you activate Overlord. You can tap 1 yellow and play this card out of your hand. You're never going to do that. No reason to, so don't do that. Sometimes you will play this card off of your leader ability on your Awaken side, but there's only one real reason why we do that, but we'll get to that probably closer to the end of the video. So you have 5 targets for your Machio Star. Now we'll go into the Demon Clans. So we run a 4-4-3 split currently, and this may change in the future. I may go up to 4-4-4. So we run 4 Master Roshis, 4 Yamchas, and 3 Chi-Chis. Now this is a proxy because I have technically 4 of them. I'm just waiting for the other 2 to get back to me. So I think 3 so far is fine. I think eventually I may switch this up to where I'm running 4 of these, just depending on how I'm altering the deck. But this combination is amazing. So Yamcha is your number 1 play off of your Machio Star for free, because the skill is negated for the turn, so these 2 skills that they have don't work. But when you play this off of your Machio Star, it comes into play, and then you pass. This card becomes a 20k blocker. Now the Servants, they gain 10k, so as you see, they're all 10k power. Servant gives them an extra 10k, and they cannot be restood during your charge phase. They can be restood with other effects, but they cannot be restood by the charge during the charge phase. So this is generically your best turn 1 play, because you'll play it, block an attack, and then you can use your Overlord ability to then put it on the bottom of your deck to draw a card. Very, very good value there. Roshi, this is your draw engine. So when this card is played, you get to draw a card. Then you cannot activate the auto on the skill for the duration of the turn. So that's a little bad, but it is a free play off of your Awaken ability. So you can play this card in rest mode to then draw a card. You also have another way to play it from the bottom of your deck to be able to draw cards in the future. Chi-Chi is the TP card from the set. So the deck did get a TP. This card, when it comes into play, you get to choose a battle card or your opponent's Unison and switch to the rest mode. Very, very strong effect. Very, very strong effect. This is generally your best play off of your auto. And I'll show you some combos you guys can do later on. But this card is awesome as well. There's also a Piccolo that's a Demon Clan. Unfortunately, I think it negates the skills of cards that are 4 or less. That card would be great if it had the Servant tag, because you can't bottom deck it, because it doesn't have that, so it's not as good. But this is a pretty amazing card here. So like I said, we run 3 of these currently. You could always run more. You can run 4 if you want to. I just think keeping these 2 at 4 and this at a minimum of 3 is probably the best opportunity for you. So you have the Servant Demon Clans, and then we'll go over the Overlord Demon Clans. So we have 4 of the expansion set Garlic Jr., Immortal Avenger, and then we have 3 of the Overlord of the Dead Zone. So these cards here, I'll spread this out a little bit. So this is your, I guess, boss monsters that they wanted to have for the deck. There is another 3-drop that you can only play on turn 3, and the deck was too slow. This card you can play on turn 2. So when you activate the Overlord skill on a card, you can, or when one of your Demon Clans is removed by a skill, you can tap 1 yellow and play this card out from your hand. So when you bottom deck one of these, if it gets KO'd by a card, you can play this card out for 1 energy. It's indestructible, so unless they have a counterplay during the first window, this card's not going anywhere. And then this allows you to evolve into the big guy for another yellow energy. This card also has another effect too. When you activate Overlord, you can tap this card to then KO one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode. Very, very strong. It's very good on defensive ends, but the first one you want to get down, you want to X-Evolve into the big guy here. We're only run 3 because he has Unique, which is the one downside of this deck. If this deck did not have Unique, and you could just play out 30k crits, this deck would be phenomenal. It would be, they're like another deck that can play out 30ks for 1 energy, Dark Broly, but whatever, this is a 30k crit, indestructible, and now you also have another Overlord skill. So your leader has Overlord, we can bottom deck a Demon Clan or a Servant card, and then you have this card, which can also bottom deck a Overlord or a Servant card. This card also has an effect where you can look at the bottom card of your deck. If it is a 2-cost Demon Clan, it says 2 cost or less, so whenever they release yellow Demon Clan cards that do not cost 2, so if they cost 1, you'll be able to play those out as well. But you can play out any of these cards from the bottom of your deck. So the idea is you have a Roshi on board, you have a Chi-Chi on board or whatever. Generally, Roshi is going to be the best. You swing with Roshi, do whatever, use your leader ability, bottom deck it, draw a card. Then use his Overlord ability to reveal this card, play it out, auto kick in, draw a card, swing with it again, and then use this Overlord ability to then bottom deck that card. So you get a total of 2 swings out of a card for no energy, and you get a total of 3 draw, of a +3. That's very, very strong. Now, the chances of them counterplaying this, it is pretty high. For some decks, they can KO it, they can neg it, they can do a bunch of different things. But as long as you can keep one of these at the bottom of your deck, you're good. The idea is to swing with it, do whatever you have to do. If you have to bottom deck it so your opponent doesn't kill it next turn, you can, because they can't remove this. So then next turn you can just activate main, play it back out, draw another card, then swing, and then bottom deck it again with one of your Overlord abilities, draw another card. So it's a 20k swing that draws you 2 cards for free. Yamcha is also great too. If you do end up blocking with it, or if you do end up swinging with it, you can bottom deck it, and at the end of your turn, you can bring it back out and then just end your turn. Now you have a 20k block grip. You also can use Chi-Chi as well for being more aggressive. You can play out the Chi-Chi to tap down a battle card, possibly a blocker or something that's for combo power, or tap down a Unison and then start swinging in there. But this is kind of the best, I think, combination of these cards here. 3 of these are fine. Hopefully in the future, Garlic gets another TP that is a 5-drop Garlic that you can evolve from, because having a second Garlic on board, even if it doesn't have Overlord, just has some other type of skill, whether it's Double Strike or something, would make this deck, would just increase this deck's playability just tenfold. So this is the Demon Clan / Overlord Servant archetype. Probably going to going back to some of these cards here in the future. So now we get into the kind of the weird stuff. So I run 2 of this card here. I'm going to read it. The King Piccolo Dragon Ball Obsession. I know, a red card. Very strange, right? So we are running red, yellow, Garlic. Now what this card says, when this card is played, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, add up to 1 red Namekian or Demon Clan card with an energy cost of 4 or less, or a red Unison. So the 2 parts of this card's text that does not matter is the red Namekian or the red Unison, because we don't run either one of those. But it's the middle part that's very, very interesting. So you actually get to add up a Demon Clan with energy cost 4 or less, which is this guy, her, him, or this guy. Or technically even this one here too. So you can actually add any of these cards. And the reason why is because by the card text, the card does not say a red Demon Clan. It says a red Namekian or a Demon Clan. It would say red next to it. So the fact is you can use this card as a searcher to search these cards out as well. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, the idea is you want to have access to red because of some of the cards that we run in the deck, and you don't want to just throw in useless red cards in the deck. So why not throw in a searcher that you can use also for combo power or for Arrival if you do run Arrival in the deck. But you can search out any of your Demon Clan cards, which is also very helpful just in case you're not hitting some. You can play this card out, search for one of those, and then play it off of your Makio Star, and then you're good. So we do run some red in the deck, so we run those. And then we also run the Universe 4 Angel and Destroyer God. This is a very old, I guess, older card now. Came out of Draftbox 5. And this is a 20k, one yellow, 1 red that has Offering. If you guys know what Offering is a keyword skill where your opponent gets to choose. Your opponent chooses A, they crit a life, or B, you get to draw 2 cards. So either A, they crit a life to the drop area, so they don't get that card, or B, you get to draw 2 cards. So it's a 2-drop draw 2 or a 2-drop deal 1 damage. And then you also have a swing involved in it as well. Very, very powerful. Your opponent's not going to be expecting you to play this card. And one of the reasons why I'm adding a red package into this deck is because this deck doesn't use a lot of energy for important things. What I mean by that is, this is the most important thing in your deck, and this costs 2 energy. It costs you 1 energy to play out the 3, and then 1 energy to play out that card. And the problem is that this deck doesn't have any other big boss monsters that you want to use. So you want to basically play this card out. When you have this card out, now it's like, okay, well, what do I do? And the normal Demon Clan engine with these 15Ks is not very good. So what else can we do? So adding in a little bit of a splash of red to be able to draw, double draw, or deal damage, or more importantly, being able to have an actual floodgate, being topo, it makes this deck, gives this deck a different edge. Once your opponent sees that you charge a red, whether it's you charge one of these or you charge one of these turn 1, your opponent's gonna go, okay, they're charging red. Why is that? And topo is a better floodgate in my opinion than Nimbus, just because gives you a body, and now your opponent, if they want to attack, they get to, lose cards from their hand. Now, one very interesting thing is this card's auto skill. So this auto skill says when one of your opponent's cards attacks, you get to play out a card. So, one thing you can do is any of your Demon Clan cards, any of these 3 cards here, you can play these cards off of your ability. Now, let's say they swing and you negate. You still get the play. So they say auto, they swing. This auto goes off first, so you get to play one of these first. So let's say you play Roshi, and then you draw a topo. Then you can negate. I believe that's how that works. I'm sure someone will say that's not how it works. But regardless, if it's the opposite way, you swing, you play topo, you pitch a card, and then you auto play this. Now you get to draw a card, or you get to play Chi-Chi, tap down something, or you get to play Yamcha, which doesn't really do anything technically in this matchup, in this variation of being played because it comes in arrest mode. But these two are the better targets for that. You can just play it out if you want to. But being able to topo and then your auto kicks in, so you actually can get that card back that you pitched, is very powerful. Or being able to play this to then tap something. We do also run 2 Bergamo as well, which is very interesting. So you can negate with topo for 2 energy, pitch a card, auto will kick in, you play this, tap something, and then you can play Bergamo off of that. I don't play Poutine in this deck. You could technically play Poutine if you can fit, 2 of them in the deck somewhere. But this just gives you a very good defensive option. Just being able to tap stuff down. You have an incredibly good floodgate. You have all this draw power. You have this card which can tap down stuff as well. You have blockers. It just gives you a lot of versatility and a little bit different from a typical Garlic deck. Next is going to be the Unison. So we run 3 Gogeta and 1 Maki Kabura. We do not run the Baby Unison. I don't think the Baby Unison is bad. I think it has a very niche playstyle. But paying 3 energy currently in this meta for a 15k card that doesn't draw me anything, or that just restands itself and it's a blocker, it's not great. Gogeta is very powerful because gains markers every time your opponent activates an extra card once per turn. You can pitch 2 yellow cards to draw 2 yellow cards. So if you're running Monkey Apes, if you're just wanting to pitch some of your dead red-yellow cards in your hand, because those count as yellow, or if you want to pitch Makio Stars or other things from your hand and you want to draw and cycle through your deck, you can do that. So you get the pitch 2, draw 2. The -4 no one really uses. You get the your opponent can only restand 2 energy during their switch to active mode during their charge phase, right? Yeah, during your opponent's next charge phase, they can only switch 2 energy to active mode. So if you get to a point where your opponent taps out, you can -4 on this, and then your opponent can only restand 2 energy. So it can be kind of annoying, especially if they're not running blue. Then you have the Maki Kabura. Because of how much this deck draws, running 1-ofs is not a bad idea because you're going to get close to decking yourself out most games. So having 1-ofs is not too bad. So this card comes out for 4. You get to draw 1, keep a card in rest mode, ignoring barrier. When this card loses a marker, because it is a blocker, once this card loses the marker from an attack, to tap down any one of your opponent's cards, not ignoring barrier. And then the -4 is you get to take control over your opponent's battle card and switch it to active mode. So if they have a secret rare on board or something and you block it, you can do all of your stuff, play this card out for 4, -4, take their card, and then use it against them. So just another form of being able to kill them on the crackback, which is good. 2 Vegeta Prideful Transformations, because we do run Unisons. Sometimes it ends up becoming pitch fodder or even energy. But it is a good card to have just because it can put a card in rest mode that's being played. For super combos, we run 2 Krillin and 2 Zamasu. So the Krillin, this allows you to put a card on the bottom of your deck and then draw 2. So we can put one of our servants on the bottom. If we don't have one in our, if we don't have the ability to play it out right now, like let's say we have a Roshi, we swing with leader, draw a card, put a Roshi at the bottom of the deck, draw 2 more, and then use the Garlic ability on the board to then play out the Roshi, then draw another card, swing for 20, and then bottom deck it to then draw another card. So it just gives you a lot of versatility with that. Also with Yamchas as well. And then you have your Zamasu, which you can use the tap down card. Still a great super combo. Even though we're running red yellow, we're not running any arrival stuff in the deck. Just having this just as a support card is pretty good. For the other negates, we run 2 Flying Nimbus. Pitch yellow. Your opponent can only attack 1 more time for the turn with battle cards. This is pretty good, but we do run a full play set of Energy Field. And Energy Field is a better version of Flying Nimbus for this deck. So it is a 1-drop negate, or you can activate copies of this card for the turn. If you have 4 or more Demon Clan cards in play, your opponent can only attack 1 more time. So this is a better version of Dormant Potential in a way, because this card actually negates the attack. So if you have 4 more Demon Clans on board, and the permanent on this card is you can pay it out for free if you have 4 more Demon Clans. So you can pay this card out for free. It's a free negate, so don't be afraid to tap out, especially if you have 4 Demon Clans on board. Now what will happen is your opponent, it'll negate and your opponent gets 1 more attack. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Play him out as well. And Chi-Chi. So you have 6 different targets in this deck that you can play out. As long as you have 4 of them on board, it doesn't matter. Now, one interesting thing that I don't know how it works, because this auto, I don't know if this auto would kick in first or the counter would kick in first. Because with your auto, you technically can play out one of these, and then if you get 4, you can counter negate. I think that's how that works. And it may not. If somebody knows, let me know. But because the auto would kick in eventually, so it either kicks in after the counter attack or before. But this is a way for you to basically stop your opponent in their tracks. You run 4 topos, 4 of these, and 2 Nimbus, so it's a total of 10 negates. So the idea is to get to late game with this deck, and obviously, because this deck has very, very little ways to win early. So the longer you stall your opponent out, the more cards you draw, better chance you have of winning. We run one big Overrealm for board removal, which is a Mass Sand. Just you can remove 6 energy worth of cards. 2 double strikers, 1 Champa, 1 Kai, just to have the option to not make a double strike if you don't want to for some reason. And then 2 secret rares, the Supreme Kai and then Fu. Supreme Kai can play it out for 1 to swing with it, or if you play it on your opponent's turn, they can't swing with Unison or leader cards, then you can pay 1 to warp this card and your entire opponent's board and their Unison. And then this is just a very, 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 very good turn 6 play. Play this card out. It shuts off all of your opponent's skills for their turn and your turn. So for your turn and their turn, now you have a 30k double strike going for game generally at that point in the game. So you also have 2 options with this as well. But this is what I have for Garlic. There's another variation of Garlic that I will try out. It's pretty similar. It takes some. It may take some inspiration from some of my Mecha Frieza decks. That just gives it some more sustainability. But I think I like this version a lot. I think the only other thing that I would add in potentially would be a combination of these cards here. Actually, we'll show you guys. So another variation of the deck is running a red-yellow super combo in a rival package. So running like the King Vegetas would be pretty cool. Being able to KO something, a three drop in rest mode, and then drawing a card. Now you have a 20k on board. This card being able to neg. You also can try to run Heartfelt Plea in the deck, which I don't think is a great idea currently. I don't think Heartfelt Plea is that great of a combination. Too many counterplays in the meta. But you can also run this super combo as well. That is also an option if you feel that is the best way of doing it. I will try to make a deck profile with this combination as well in the future. But currently this is what I got. Hope you guys liked the video. Like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of the deck itself, and I'll see you guys in the next video.